This is a place.
This is the place?
This is a place. We want to talk about. This is a place.
Thank you for listening to This is a Place podcast. My name is Brandon.
I'm Nate.
We want to wish everyone, especially the teachers, National Teachers Day.
Woohoo!
'Cause it's
That's a good day.
Yeah, it's, what's it called? Teacher Appreciation Week or something like that?
I think so. I've seen schools to go even as far as sending like all the parents a list of things that the teachers like.
Okay.
And every day is something different that you're supposed to do for your teacher. A lot of schools do that.
And they'll bring them lunch the whole week or something, or bagels or something.
But I learned something. Well, teachers are great. And that's actually what I wanted to do.
Really?
Well, growing up, I wanted to be a doctor. I thought being like a pediatrician would be awesome.
Okay.
Then when I found out you have to go to school for like 9 years, I'm like, screw that. Um, then I shouldn't say I wanted to be a teacher. Here was my plan when I was like nearly married. I wanted to make millions of dollars so I could retire by the time I was 40 and then go get a teaching certificate and just be like a teacher and like a coach for one of the teams at the high school or something like that. But that
Mostly for
goal
the
is,
coaching aspect, but you had to be a
yeah,
teacher.
well, coaching, teaching, it's all kind of the same realm.
Right.
Thought that'd be fun. So teachers are great, but I learned something. I was listening to a video. I shouldn't say listening. I was watching a video, some financial guy. And it's interesting that he says some of the wealthiest people, or like this percentage of people who are well off after they retire, is the teaching profession. Like teachers actually accumulate a lot of wealth compared to other industries.
Hmm.
And they says the reason is because usually they stay put in an area for long term and they live a modest lifestyle. They get used to living a modest lifestyle, and they buy a modest home when they first can afford a home, but they stay in that home forever and accumulate wealth. And then with inflation and all that stuff, and they're making more money, their mortgage isn't going up all too much. Does that make sense? So I'm
Yeah.
like, that's kind of an interesting way to look at it. And so by the time they retire, they have a good pension because they work for the government and they accumulate a lot of wealth. So I'm like, huh. Because the teachers always had like the stigma of like you can't make it being just a teacher, but maybe they know something we don't know. Teachers do it. Because a lot of people, even though they make a lot more money than teachers, a lot of people waste that money and they spend money that they don't have. I mean, Mike Tyson, for example, he went bankrupt and he made millions upon millions. So it's not about how much you make, but it's how much you keep.
Right. The
And I guess teachers
accumulation.
do, and teachers are smart, so they're good at that.
I wonder how many, I'm sure a lot of teachers do stuff during the summer too. I mean, they only
Sure.
get paid for when they're teaching, right? But then they've got a whole summer to do whatever other jobs or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's something to
Mhm.
that. They've got a couple months freed up to do whatever they want. And the smart ones will use that to make more money, find something, you know.
Well, that's what one of the managers at Classic Skating who managed the water slides during the summer kind of ran the summer months at Classic. That's what he did. He was actually my sixth grade teacher, I believe, when he
Hmm.
came over and taught. And then, anyways, he uh he ran the water slides during the summer. And now he's retired from teaching, and I think he still works at Classic every now and then. And then I have another friend who plays hockey in our hockey league who's basically a full-time real estate investor.
Okay.
And he kind of did my plan. And so he was doing well and he went and got his teaching certificate and he teaches over, I think at 100 High School, if I'm not mistaken, and does that and does his investing on this, well, as well. So can be done, but it would
So,
be a pain in the butt to be a teacher nowadays because we were just talking earlier. I feel like it's hard to discipline kids nowadays.
mm-hmm.
And no matter what you do, if you make a kid mad, it's always the teacher's fault. The parents get mad at the way you discipline a kid. And like I said, I have a few friends who are teachers and stuff like that. And it's hard to hear their stories of how parents won't let them
Teach.
teach or discipline their kids at all. Or some place in the South, that they actually have a waiver that you can sign at the beginning of the year that says, "Will you allow us to
Place your
spank,
hands.
yeah, place our hands on your kid or not?" So some schools, like my understanding is, if they get in trouble, they have two options. One option is you go to detention, or two, you get a paddle to the back end. So they say a lot of the football players are like, "Oh, just paddle me. Like I'll go through, 30 seconds of pain is better than 3 hours of detention or whatever, right?"
Right.
But yeah, you even like nowadays, you even like grab a kid and you're being sued for grabbing them. Anyways, we could have a whole episode on
Teaches.
teachers, but I'm glad there are people that still willing to do jobs like that because it's got to be
Labor of
exhausting.
love.
It's got to be exhausting.
I'm sure it is. Well, if you have a teacher in your life, a teacher that you care about or respect, let them know. Let them know
Yeah.
that you appreciate them and what they do. So, teachers. But I'm kind of mad. Nobody reached out. We didn't get any guesses, Nate.
What?
Zero guesses. So that what that means? You gotta go take yourself to McDonald's.
Yeah. I'll
Oh.
go today.
Nobody wants free money. Should we tell them what your cost was since nobody actually participated? Or we give
Yeah.
them one more week.
Should we remind them what I got?
Yeah, let's tell them what you got.
Let's do the rundown. If I remember correctly, two spicy chickens, two double cheeseburgers, one large fry, one large drink, one cookie. And we're talking about the total with the taxes, not just the pre-tax total.
You're out the door.
Out the door. What's my out the door cost?
Drum roll, please. Joy
Eh,
to the world. What was your grand total?
If I remember correctly, it was $6.03.
$6.03 was the grand total. Now
That's what we
listen,
did.
folks. If you would have just guessed that or something close to that, you'd have $6.03 towards McDonald's or whatever you want. You missed out.
Yeah, that would have been maybe a Happy Meal if you don't use.
Well, if you do Nate's method,
You could have
you could
eaten
have
for weeks.
yeah, a meal fit for a king.
There you go. Can I
Well,
have like
maybe
one weird gripe?
let's hear it.
I just couldn't do it, but so I need I forget the name of the fuse. It's the bigger fuses for your car, the maxi fuses or something like that. So they're bigger than a normal fuse, and they're like $5 a piece. So I need one for my truck, and I was heading home from Lehigh, and I hit the South Jordan Walmart, and I went in there, and they only had a pack that you had to buy three different ones, and it was like $9. That's what it said in the thing. But I scanned it with my Walmart app to see if it was the right one. I don't know what I was. Anyways, I scanned it and it still had me logged into the Jordan Landing Walmart. And Jordan Landing had it for like $3 cheaper. I'm like, I'm heading that way anyways. But I'm like, I'll just go up to the front and ask them to match it. They wouldn't match it. I'm like, oh, so seriously, you want me to drive 2 miles and pick it up over at Jordan Landing. And then I forgot, oh my goodness, I have Walmart Plus. They'll just ship it to my house for free. So as I'm walking out the door, so it seems dumb to me that Walmart's going to pay to ship this product to me when they could have just matched it at their store and saved everybody time and money. But that's my gripe for the week. But I just couldn't do it. I'm like, oh, I know it's only $3, but the the illness I have of finding a good deal and not overpaying for something, it kicked in. But so I guess I took it to Walmart. I gave it to Walmart because I'm like, all right, I'm walking out the door. I should have done this in the first place and just ordered it online and had them ship it to me for free.
That is crazy.
So who's losing now, Walmart, huh? And then one more funny story. It has McDonald's and Walmart. The other day I asked my kids because they had the deal. I'm like, hey, boys, do you want to go get our free cheeseburger at McDonald's? And they're like, yeah. And then Bronco is always dressed in pajamas. He gets home from school and asks if we have anything to do that night. And if we don't, then he puts on his pajamas. Like he's ready to turn in for the night or just relax. So he's in his pajamas and he's like, oh, do I need to put on real clothes? I'm like, oh, nah, you don't need to put on real clothes. We're not going to Walmart or any place special. He was so confused. He's like, we have to dress up when we go to Walmart. I'm like, of course you do. Everybody dresses up when they go to Walmart.
Otherwise,
You
you
got
end
to
up on
look
the
your
internet.
best. You got to look your best when you go to Walmart.
Dressed to the nines.
So I'm like, oh, but it's funny because Walmart used to always have McDonald's in them, but now they don't.
None of them do anymore?
I haven't seen one for a while.
That's true. The
I
the
don't
ones
think I've
around
even
here
seen
used to.
Subway anymore.
The
And
ones
now
around
they have
London
like some
used
have like
to.
those. What's that new poke
Pokey, yeah.
bowls? Yeah. Have you tried
And
that yet?
bobas. I'm
Yeah.
not a fish guy.
Really?
Yeah.
I like sushi, so I'm like, I wonder if I like it. I haven't tried one yet.
Hmm.
Ooh. Do you like shrimp?
No,
No?
no
Dang.
fish for me. The
I
furthest
got
I'll go with fish is maybe some crab or lobster. I can tolerate those.
well, here's my deal of
That's
the
it.
week. Speaking of Walmart, I went to Walmart to get something else the other day, and they had the ring of 65 shrimp.
Oh yeah,
And the sign said $2.22. And I'm like, there's no way. Because that's usually like a $20, $30 thing, right?
right.
Yeah, it rang up for $2.22. I got a couple of them. I don't know if that was a misprint or not, but
What'd
is
you
that
do? Did you eat them
unethical?
all?
No, I gave one away to a friend, and then I'm gonna save one for um Mother's Day. Take it
Nice.
to Mother's Day because it'll make me look like, hey, I went all out, when I
Mm.
really only spent two
These are
bucks.
usually 20 to 30 bucks.
Wait, hey, brought
I
shrimp.
love you, mom.
And then I got another one that I've been saving well, today's not Wednesday to us, but today's an eat day for me. So it's the first chance I've had to. So I'll eat some today.
So if you hear Nate munching in the background during the podcast, you will know
I
what it
just rem
is.
I just remember I had it. We brought up the pokey thing. So pokey, is that how you say it? Pokey, poka,
Pokey. I
okay.
don't know. I don't know. I'm not eating it anyway.
Fish bowls.
Yeah. I guess we could talk about that too. It's Mother's Day, so don't forget Mother's Day. Get
Did I
you.
send you that thing
Yeah, you did.
that there's
Go ahead,
what did
share
it
it.
say? What's that?
Go ahead. I was gonna say, go
It
ahead and share
said
it.
said something like crime goes down about what is it, 20-30% on Mother's Day, which means that during Mother's Day, too many mothers are
Out
too
to brunch
busy
with their
brunch with their
families.
family that they can't commit crimes.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yes. Good
I
times.
could totally see our moms out there. I mean, it's a good cover. I mean, everyone
Mother's
thinks
Day.
you're the nice lady in the neighborhood, but really you're out committing crimes at night.
Stinking moms.
I mean, nobody keeps tabs on mom. Nobody knows when mom leaves the house. Mom knows when you leave the house when you're a kid, but nobody knows when mom leaves. How
Yeah,
do you know that she's in bed all night
that's
and not
true.
out, not out
Moonlighting
moonlighting and holding up the 7-Eleven?
or the McDonald's and Walmart.
There you go. Well, anyway,
Switching gears, let's get into the episode. You got something very important to talk about. This is a staple of the music community. Nate, today we are talking about Kilby Court. Now, for the last few years, Kilby Court has been doing something called a block party, where they do a big party on the block where Kilby Court is and go all out and have kind of a festival. But this year, they're having a 25th anniversary party because that's a big milestone. Venue originally opened in 1999, so why not have a big deal, a big party? So this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the 10th through the 12th, at the Fair Park will be a block party celebrating 25 years. And they're going to have some big names. So I'm just curious, just going through some of these names, which ones you actually know. So it's usually Kilby tends to be smaller indie bands.
or up and coming bands, right?
Yeah. Bands kind of get their start there and move on to bigger and better things. But they always remember when they passed through Salt Lake and went to little old humble Kilby Court. So the headliners, we've got LCD Sound System. You know who they are?
That sounds very familiar.
They're a big band, I guess. I don't listen to them. The Postal Service. Do you know the Postal Service?
I've heard that one too.
Vampire Weekend.
Heard that one. Yep.
Death Cab. You ever heard of them?
Nope.
We got Interpol. Which other ones do I recognize? Bell and Sebastian. Sure you've heard of them before. No? Dinosaur Jr.
Yep, heard of them. They've been around for a long time.
Bombay Bicycle Club.
No.
Crooked Kings. That's a local band, or originally a local band.
Nope.
So there's lots of bands. It's pretty
Didn't
big.
My Chemical Romance play there once too?
Ooh, good question.
So I'm a little confused. You said they're celebrating Kilby Court by playing at another venue?
All right. Have you ever seen Kilby Court?
No, I don't even know what it is.
It's a venue, Salt Lake. It is. I'm gonna just send you a picture of Kilby Court. Let's look. There's some specs.
Can you tell me where Kilby Court is?
I sure can. Kilby Court is at 741 West Kilby Court, Salt Lake City, Utah, 84101. When you go there, you have to walk quite a ways back. So you walk down a street and you have to walk to the end of the street, and then it's just kind of, if you didn't know any better, just like a house. But it's basically just a garage.
Okay.
So this is, I'll send you some pictures.
Oh, so it's not too far away from Brewies. Is that what they call it? Brewies?
Oh, yeah.
And I
Send you some
guess
pictures now.
Mark Miller Toyota. Too. Yeah. I've seen some of the pictures before.
It's really small. So having some of these big bands, you can celebrate Kilby Court, but you can't really have this kind of a concert at Kilby Court.
Oh, I know. I get it.
Small.
I get it. I get the but it still seems weird to celebrate something not at that actual location.
Fair. Very fair point.
Fair. Was that a joke?
It's at the fair.
At the fair.
Very funny.
Fair joke.
So the about section of the website says Kilby, established in 1999, Kilby Court is Salt Lake's longest running all ages venue and widely appreciated as a springboard stage for beginning local and touring artists alike. Our DIY garage style atmosphere encourages close artist crowd interaction with the same intimacy as having a show in one's own backyard. For music lovers, especially, Kilby Court is the venue fans like to remember visiting when their favorite artists were just beginning. We have hosted such acts as. So let me go through this list again and see which ones you might know. You heard of Doja Cat,
Yeah.
Phoebe Bridgers?
No,
Never heard of Phoebe Bridgers?
probably not.
Who else we got? Skimming the list to see. Rip Momney.
That sounds familiar.
So you got Hot Mulligan, Gangs of Youth. Who would you know?
Here we well, we go. Wait. Death
Illuminati
Cab for
Hotties.
Cutie, Modest Mouse.
Yes. Where are you seeing this
Um,
list?
I just clicked on a button. Says what bands have played at Kilby Court. Kilby Court quickly became a home for indie darlings in Salt Lake. That's where I found one that said that My Chemical Romance was there too. Modest Mouse, I like them.
Well, this is from 15 years. Yeah. Bright Ice.
From Slug Magazine.
These ones must be the ones I'm looking at recent. So Hello Goodbye. You know
No,
them?
no.
I mean, I know a good amount of these bands. The Head and the Heart. Macklemore.
Really?
Foster the People.
Foster the People.
Mac Miller.
Sounds familiar.
M Ward, and many, many more. So a lot of bands. I'd say if you were ever up and coming band, starting band, you probably played at Kilby Court in the early days if you passed through Utah, because it's small, it's cheap, probably, and a good place to get a start. But yes, it is very, very small. And you walk up and they've got just a kind of a box office type thing, and but I don't know, probably wouldn't be too hard to sneak in. It's an interesting location. I've been to only two concerts there, and both times it's actually been the same band called Tiny Moving Parts. And I'm surprised they've only played at that venue when I've seen them, but it is a very intimate experience. You are very up close. There's hardly even a stage there. Like you're raised a little bit on a platform, but not much. It's very close quarters. But a cool venue nonetheless. You've got kind of this pole that's in the middle. I think you can see it in that picture I sent you. And there's always lots and lots of stickers all along the walls and up along the pole. People getting creative on how they get up there and get their stickers up. Seen people climb the pole at concerts and they get in trouble. You're not supposed to do that. They don't want you climbing the pole.
Don't do that.
But I mean, you can see in this picture how much of a stage there really is. It's not much. And there's not even, you've been to concerts. There's usually you'll have some openers and there's kind of a build up for the headliner, right? You don't really get that here because you can see everybody right away. There's no
There's
surprise.
no way for them to nowhere from the hide. They just
There's no hiding. I mean, they come out the side and they're just there. So it's it's a different experience. It's if you haven't gone, I think it's worth it to at least try one show there because it's just different. And they've got a little shed on the side for merch. Um, but it's a small space.
well, it kind of reminds me, have you heard about that lady who's getting shut down after 23 years of doing backyard concerts?
No, what's this?
Um, I think it's over in Kingston Avenue, which is near 15th and 15th. Just this lady for 23 years now has been opening up her backyard for they call it potluck dinner, live local music for neighbors and anybody who wanted to come, and it was free. She's been doing it for, I guess she started back in year 2000, and she was like shocked how many people came to this little get together concert thing. And so she's been doing it for 23 years, and now the city's shutting her down.
Really?
Kind of
They
lame.
just don't want her to do it anymore? What's the issue?
I don't know. I'm sure there was some neighbors who complained or something about it because that's just the way people are. But she said she was really respectful to make sure like it was done like early in the evening, like 10:30 or something like that. And so they weren't keeping up the neighborhood. But I'm sure somebody complained, and so now they're, and she even, I think if I remember right, seeing the news story that she even talked to the city to get permits and all that stuff, but now they're not letting her do it no more.
That's messed up, man.
It is really messed up. We should go egg every house in that neighborhood until they bring it back.
Okay.
There's got to be a neighbor who complained, right?
I'm sure it'll be easy to find that neighbor
Oh,
that
there you go. She
complained.
goes, she encouraged people to carpool and use rideshare apps if they weren't walking over, and shows ended before 10 p.m., usually between 9 and 9:15 p.m. Lame.
That is lame.
But I'm kind of sad that I didn't hear about it till now.
Yeah, I've never heard about it.
Oh, never mind. She says she considered getting special event permits, but it would have been expensive for how often she held gatherings.
Mm,
So, but come on, people. But when I'm looking at the pictures from this story, it kind of reminds me of Kilby Court because it's just like somebody's backyard, just really tiny event in a
yeah,
little small stage.
I hear you. Well, two small things, two small venues going on for a long time. Luckily, one of them still sticking around 25 years later. Did find a couple more interesting details. So the capacity is 200. So if that gives you any indication of how big this venue
That's
is.
like larger movie theater, right? That's pretty small.
That's way small. I wonder how often it reaches capacity or goes over capacity.
Oh, I bet you all the time, right?
Yeah. There is one dressing room, no backstage restroom. Public restrooms located at the end of the parking lot. See parking map on page 2. But it is literally a garage. So when the venue's closed, there's a garage that lifts up, and that's how you come through. So it's
Huh.
literally just a garage. But yeah, all ages, so it's great for people that have their first show, you know. It's usually going to be cheap, and a lot of kids probably go here for concerts, and up and coming artists are usually going to be younger and market to that younger audience, you know.
Right.
There is a band, I believe they're a local band, or started as a local band called the Backseat Lovers. Their page says they are from Heber and Ogden. So they're local. And they have a song after Kilby Court. And it is called Kilby Girl. Would you like to hear it, Nate?
Wish that I had Kilby's girl.
How'd you know it? You already heard it before?
Yeah.
I was her that she was 19. She's got a fake ID and a nose ring. This kind of girl send to know things better than I do. I'm trying to figure out what she's hiding. She's playing it cool, but she's lying better than I do.
Anyway, that's a little sample of Kilby Girl.
Well, it has 12 million views on YouTube. That means it's got to be semi-popular.
Yeah, it's a pretty big one. So that's cool. It's sad to not see them a part of the 25th anniversary. That'd be a fun place to play that song for all the peeps. But cool that they have a song giving a little shout out to their probably one of the first places they played.
To the roots.
Back to their roots, exactly. So, anyways, guess congrats are in order. Congrats to Kilby for making it on so long. 25 years is quite an accomplishment. Most marriages don't make it that far.
Do you know what
And
the number one cause of divorce is?
what?
Marriage.
Very funny.
Sorry.
But yeah, it's a cool milestone, and curious if anyone that listens is going to check out the block party. I'm sure there's still tickets available. I thought about going because I would love to see. So Death Cab for Cutie and the Postal Service, it's the same, at least the same front man. And
Oh, yeah.
the Postal Service hasn't really done much other than I think maybe one or two albums, but they don't do many concerts, or at least in recent years they haven't done a lot of them. And so I was like, that'd be cool to see both Death Cab and the Postal Service, or even just Postal Service, because I've never seen them do Postal Service songs before. But anyway, if anyone's going, let us know. Let us know how it is. I'm sure it's gonna be a real party.
Sure it is. And
Yeah.
I'll have to go check it out.
Oh, you're gonna go to the
I'm not going to go to the fair. I want to go to the actual Kilby Court. So
well,
maybe,
should we find a concert to go to?
yeah, let's go discover a band.
There actually is one on August 14th that would be pretty interesting to go see. So if you want to go,
Who would it be?
the band is called See You Space Cowboy.
Say it again.
See You Space Cowboy.
Oh,
I've listened to them a little bit, so you want to go see them? Let's go to a concert, or we could just pick any random one because you never know. If you go to that concert, it
could be the one.
could be the one. The
Do you
next,
remember well, you're probably too young. Rock and Roll Lifestyle by Cake.
yeah.
That's your theme song.
Ooh,
How do
it
you
is.
afford your rock and roll lifestyle? It proves you were there, that you heard of them first now. I mean, that was kind of like, I'm sure it still is, but I just remember that in high school. Like, it was just cool to go to these small venues to try to be like, oh, I knew these guys before
Right before they were big.
big, And you
Yeah.
guys are all, what do they call it? Sellouts. They're sellouts now
Yeah. Be a hipster.
because they're making money, which there's their original goal.
Exactly. Well, this is our chance to see them and hear them first, Nate. We're going to be pioneers and let people know about Lip Critic.
Well, there's a local band from back in the mid 90s called Breckenridge that I I think I borrowed my sister's CD of it, so I don't have a copy of it, but I would it's one of those when I go to a thrift store, I always kind of hope that maybe one copy of it will pop up, but I can't find them on the internet. I can't find them anywhere. But if anybody out there, out of our three listeners that are listening still, if anybody has a copy of the Breckenridge CD, I want to borrow it so I can MP3 it.
Are they around still?
No, I doubt it.
You've tried to look online?
Yeah,
How do you spell Breckenridge?
I think it was BECKONRIDGE. I'm thinking it was that. I have a couple of their songs on my iTunes because I'm sure I put it on to iTunes back in the early 2000s, but I want like their whole album.
It was pretty good, huh?
Yeah, they were good in that. They were good. I liked them. Their songs are catchy, and I bet you maybe they would have gone or gotten a little bit more, what's the word, traction if social media and stuff was the way it is now. Like I think it's harder yet almost easier for an artist to get discovered now because it's cheaper. I think I told you the story when I was like 22, 21 or 22. My friend, a guy I know, one of my good friends, who's older than me, he has managed some local people before.
Okay.
Most of the stuff he's done has been more like the hip hop crowd and stuff like that. But he called me up one day and he said, "Hey, are you serious about music?" And I'm like, What do you mean? I don't understand what you're saying." He goes, "Well," and I want to say they were called Lava Records, but I could be wrong. But he says, I made a contact at Lava Records. They're looking for the new Blink 182 type band. Do you want?" And they said that they want us to come give them a demo and talk with them. So can you put together a 3-song demo and we'll fly out to California and meet with them? I'm like, heck yeah, let's do this. So a kid that I was writing some songs with and stuff, we got together and practiced and wrote a couple songs getting ready. Then I had a roommate from when I lived down in Provo who worked for a recording studio, the Osmond recording studio. So I called him up and said, "Hey man, what does it cost to put together a demo?" It would have been anywhere from like $5,000 to put together this demo to like a good demo.
Gosh.
And I'm like, well, I don't have 5 grand, you know what I mean? So that's as far as it got. But if it were just a few, or if I was just a few years younger, I should say, like now you got GarageBand and all the stuff you can do. You can make a demo on your own without much work. So timing just sucked. But who knows? Maybe I never would have got to know you because I'd be playing at Kilby Court this weekend and I'd be too famous for you.
That's probably true.
But that's my closest I ever got to being a rock star.
Can you reach out to your buddy, see if they're still looking for the next Blink 182? I mean,
I'm pretty sure they are.
we could put something together.
Yeah, but nowadays you don't really want to. I mean, it was kind of fun. I mean, we're on the same topic, but talking to that roommate of mine, because I think he wanted to be a producer, I think was his big thing. And I don't know what he ended up doing, but talking about the music industry and just kind of how that all works. And I'm sure it's changed since then, but back then it was like, holy crap, you didn't realize like basically when you sign a contract with the record label, they're basically a bank and they're loaning you money. And you know what I mean? And then you're paying back with interest and all that good stuff. So it's kind of
Sounds terrible.
dirty, the industry. And going back to Cake actually has like one of those unplugged sessions, whatever, and they kind of talk about the dirtiness of the industry and stuff they wish they would have done differently. So but I think it's getting easier and easier to not have to go with the big record label, like I said, because of the way of social media is going. And like, for example, what's her name? Who sings Bad Boy? I'm a Bad Boy.
Oh, Billie Eilish?
Billie Eilish. Didn't her and her brother like do everything on their own with their first album?
In their house, in their bedroom.
Yeah, and then he won like producer of the year or something like that, and he just did it out of his own house. So it's getting easier, I think. So it makes me wonder if those record labels are still really
wield as much power as they used to.
Right. So, and then you hear all the time all these bands from the 80s and 90s who were huge and famous, but then all the performers are like, yeah, dude, we made like pennies. Like we didn't make anything. The record labels made, or their manager made all the money.
It's not even hard to get your music on streaming. You can put it on Spotify through different services. So
we hear about that too. Wasn't that Post Malone? Was that him too? Where he just posted on one of those streaming services and then woke up the next morning and his song had like 1 million downloads. And I think that's how he got discovered by Justin Bieber or something. I don't know.
Maybe something like that. Our next goal should be to play at Kilby Court as a band. We make our band, so we can play at Kilby Court.
There's a couple bars around town, those sports type bars where they have open mic, and I haven't got together with a buddy and we practiced for a little bit to go do it, and then just kind of fell apart. But I think it'd be fun. That's to me like sports and just jamming are like my 2 favorite things to do. Like I can just do it for hours on end. So if anybody out there wants to put together something for Kilby Court, let us know. We can start smaller than Kilby.
Yeah. Too bad that lady's backyard's getting closed up. Oh, we could have went there.
Oh man, that's okay. That's okay because you're redoing your backyard this summer and you can fancy it up to handle it.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. It was always my dream as a kid when maybe it was in high school, But I thought my deck would be the perfect place to just put a band and then have everybody down on the ground level watch the show. That's the stage. I was like, man, it would be so perfect. Probably wouldn't have been, but my backyard,
Fun.
I'm gonna tailor it to this. Our backyard can be our first show. Then we'll work up to Kilby Court.
What would you call it?
My backyard.
Let's Go Brandon.
My Let's Go
Brandon
Brandon stage.
Concert hall. I saw a video this morning actually where the guys get one of those push carts at Home Depot and they put this little drum set on it. So the guy was playing the drums and the two guys just had their electric guitar, well, electric bass and electric guitar, and they had the little belt clip amps.
Yeah.
And they walked around Home Depot playing just a song. I'm like, that'd be fun.
Let's do
I
it.
thought about it too. I think it'd be fun too to like get a trailer. And you see them in parades too, where you put the drum sets and then the people are just sitting in the back of the trailer. It'd be fun just to like go through random neighborhoods playing a concert. Whoever
we'll get
wants
the
to
word out.
listen. And if people come outside, then you stop, you play them a song, then you move on.
We can start with covers and then integrate our own music eventually.
Yeah,
It's perfect. Perfect plan.
absolutely.
Let us know if you'd come to the show
Because
because you're all so good at
our
letting us
pre-sale
know.
tickets will go on sale this Friday.
If they won't send us a message to get free money
What?
to your contest.
Oh, I got you.
McDonald's
I thought you were
contest.
quoting some movie or something. I'm like, I'm not following this one.
No, I'm just saying.
Well, I know. Yeah, I get people all the time saying some comment from our episodes, and I'm like, oh, you listen too. That's
They're out
good.
there. I know they are.
Yes.
And we thank you for it. And thanks for listening to This Is a Place podcast.
And this was a place we just talked about.